candy friends, how are you guys doing? So don't you think it's like just beautiful outside? I've been outside looking at my flowers. I even saw a bunch of butterflies, which is really fun to see, and some different birds as well. And behind me are a bunch of sailboats that I love checking out as well. So today I thought I'd do another Swedish cookie, and it's part of my series of 7 important Swedish cookies that have been important since the 1800s. Now you might remember in my last video when I did the drömmar cookies that in Sweden back in the 1800s, ladies would have coffee parties, or they would call it kafferep, and at the coffee parties they would have a tray of 7 cookies. Now this cookie we're going to be doing today is a Raspberry Cave Cookie, which was popular back then as well, and it was one of the cookies to have on your tray of cookies. And what makes this special is that in the center of the cookie there's kind of like a dip where you hold the raspberry preserves, and it's just really cute. It's a really cute little cookie to enjoy, and it's so easy to make. Okay, so we're ready to start mixing the ingredients. Okay, so I have my butter out on the counter in advance because this is a really quick recipe, and we're going to need the butter to be a little bit soft when we start adding it into the flour mixture. So I'm going to set these aside. Okay, so first we're going to be mixing in the dry ingredients, and here I have 2 cups of flour, then 1 teaspoon of baking powder, then a 1/2 cup of sugar. Then give this a good mix. I'm putting in a teaspoon of vanilla. So now I'm adding in 2 sticks of butter into the bowl, and then we're going to mix everything up with our hands. Next, you want to roll the dough into a loaf. Okay, so I'm finished rolling these out, and then next, cut these into maybe about a 1/2 inch or an inch. And what I do is I just, roll these into a ball, and if it breaks apart, then just keep rolling it again. And then the dough will warm up, and then you can easily make it into a ball. There, and then press this down. Take another pre-sliced dough and roll this around. It might be a little bit cold, so you're just going to want to roll this around until you get the ball. And then just press this down, and that's how you get your cave in the center of the cookie. Okay, the final step is to add on the raspberry preserves on each of the cookies. That's in the center of the cave. So my cookies are in the oven for 15 minutes at a degree of 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Just be sure they don't burn. Okay, one thing I wanted to point out is I have seen different variations of methods of baking these cookies. I have seen people just put it straight onto this type of baking sheet and just bake it as is. I've also seen people use cupcake holders, small mini ones that will hold the cookies in place. And as well, I have seen people use a baking tray that actually has, the pattern, the cutout for a cupcake or a small muffin as well. I think honestly either way works. It doesn't really seem to make much of a difference for me, but maybe you guys down below can tell me a little bit more about this if you think it's better to use a baking tray with a cupcake holder, or even a baking tray that actually has the molded right into the tray. Okay, so I just took the Hallongrottor cookies out of the oven, and they're really, really super hot. And that's because in the center where we put the raspberry filling is just burning hot. So that part has to cool off. So I put my Swedish cookies on a baking rack so they can cool off a little bit quicker. Okay, so I have my cup of coffee because, as you know, back in the 1800s, the ladies had the cookies with their coffee because they had coffee parties. And let's see how this is. It's very easy to break apart, very soft, and I did slightly over bake these on the bottom, but I had these in the oven exactly for 15 minutes. So now I'm ready to take a bite of the Swedish Raspberry Caves. Let's give it a try. Ooh, a little hot. The cookie is very soft. It's not like crunchy at all. And the raspberry really complements the texture of the cookie very nicely too. It's a really nice contrasting textures to have on a cookie. I think I've had cookies similar to this in the past where it was already pre-made, and you can definitely taste a difference making these yourself for sure. That was really nice. Excellent with tea. And of course, you know, my mother, she would drink coffee for sure. So, I hope you guys enjoyed our video today and you learned a little bit of something. I certainly am enjoying learning about the cookies back in the 1800s in Sweden. I think it's really interesting to learn history, especially if it's cooking and baking history. So I hope you guys enjoyed our video today. If you guys have any recipe requests, let us know down below in the comments section. And if this is your first time here, we would love to have you subscribe, because every week we come out with both traditional and modern Scandinavian recipes to help celebrate with your family and friends. Have a great week, skål, and see you later guys, bye! So over the weekend I got this beautiful arrangement at one of the local stores. I'm really excited to have it. Thought I'd show you guys some of my plants here. This one is super cool too. I really love it. I love the stand that came with it. And then I also got these too. I think these are so pretty. Don't you guys think?